Man, what is happening, my YouTube family? Of course, it is your boy B New. I'm coming at you on this Tuesday. And first and foremost, as always, just want to send out positive vibrations and blessings to anybody who could be listening. I hope everybody had a very safe and happy Memorial Holiday weekend. I know I have been gone away for a while, so for all of you who do subscribe and are faithful to the channel, I definitely want to say I appreciate the love and my apologies for being gone away. I've been in a hiatus. As you all know, I'm just dealing with a lot as far as the health of my father and the well-being of my son. So a lot of things going on, but still a whole lot to be thankful about. So with all that being said, I know I missed out on a lot as we saw that the playoffs has continued to go on. I don't even know if I did a show on any of the Eastern Conference Finals. Maybe a couple of games I was able to, but being a caregiver is something that's not easy. So for anybody out here that is a caregiver, mad props to you, because taking care of a grown adult who's not able to take care of themselves is definitely not an easy thing to do, and especially when it's somebody you love, it can be very emotionally draining as well. But anyway, with all that being said, we now have in place the two teams that will be facing off in the finals, which is the Golden State Warriors and the Boston Celtics. And there's so much to talk about, I don't even know where to begin. But I do think I would like to touch on Jimmy Butler and the shot that he took, because everybody and their mama, especially even the Boston Celtics, with maybe a minute and a half or 2 minutes left in the game, thought that the game was in the bag. They knew, well, you know what, it's over with. I want to say the Celtics were up by 11 or 12 points. Forgive me, I hadn't had the chance to prep for today's show, but just basically going off memory. But we all know what happened. Jimmy Butler, the Miami made a few stops. Jimmy Butler had the ball in transition. He had Al Horford backpedaling, and of course, Jimmy Butler pulled up and shot a three-point shot, which to me, I don't care what anybody says, to me, it's still an ill-advised shot. And I know you said, hey, coming off a 47-point game. Hey, he was wide open. Hey, he's a go-to guy. Hey, he had the nuts or whatever you want to say, the wherewithal to even be able to take the shot. He wasn't afraid. Just me personally, there's nothing wrong with going with the tie in that situation, because when you have a larger defender backpedaling and you are as athletic as you are, I'm pretty sure that he would have been able to get to the bucket and finish, and maybe even draw a foul. But who knows? Maybe Al Horford blocks his shot. So, it could go either way. Am I mad at him? As long as his teammates had faith in him, I'm not sure that Coach Spoelstra was happy about you can tell by the look on his face. I don't think he was too happy with it. But at the end of the day, maybe he just felt it. Now, the shot was on point, and it could have went in. It just hit the front of the iron. So it was on point. I think it easily could have went in, but it didn't. And here we are today. And to be honest, as we all know, the NBA is all about matchups. Any team, I think, can beat another team. It just depends on how they match up with them. And now I just have to say that I feel like the Boston Celtics match up just fine with the Golden State Warriors. And I know that the odds in Vegas are that the Warriors, I think, are 2-1 favorites, or either the plus 180 to win it straight out. They do have a home court advantage. The first game is going to be out of Golden State. But I just feel like with Boston's defense, and Miami didn't have bad defense either. And if you go back historically, it's always been this way. It's been this way since the 80s, the 90s. If you go back and look, the West Coast teams have always been more so the finesse teams. They've been the running gun teams, whereas the East teams have always been that physical powerhouse defensive teams. Even if you look at those Detroit teams of the 2000s, who was able to beat the Lakers team in the 2000s. If you look at, some of those Cavs teams that came out of the East, even with LeBron, they were always great defensive teams, even though the Heat, people don't realize that the Heat played great defense. They weren't just run and gun. You understand what I'm saying? It wasn't just showtime. So I think the Celtics, I think they've had better battles so far in the playoffs too. If you look at Golden State, they lucked up again this year by not facing a Ja Morant or even a Dylan Brooks, who was suspended for a game. because in that series was still close. Those games were close except for one game, which Golden State did win handily. And I want to say that's the game where Ja ended up getting hurt. But anyway, no excuses for anybody. Golden State is in the finals. It is what it is. Now, I got a lot to talk about this in a historical context as well, which hopefully we'll get a chance to get to today. If not, we'll talk more about that tomorrow. But Golden State, I don't think they've gone through the battles. The Memphis, I think, was a good one. But as we all know, the other series that they faced in this year's playoffs just was not that much of a test normally what you would see in the playoffs, especially if you look at what Boston was able to overcome. Even though Milwaukee, hey, speaking of luck, now I gotta do right by both, because of course we all know Chris Middleton was injured in their series against Milwaukee as well. But if you look at it, they took on the Kyrie Irving and the Kevin Durant in the East and handed them a sweep. Took out the defending champions, even though they were down somebody as well, did take out the defending champions. And then if you look at it, they were battle-tested, going 7 games against the Miami Heat. And speaking of the Miami Heat, I did want to point this out for all you LeBron James haters out there, that the Miami Heat, this team is a good team. So that same team that they beat in the bubble with Jimmy Butler and everybody else, everybody tries to discredit them, but we know they was right there. And we know Kyle Lowry was not his full 100% self in this series as well. But at the end of the day, well, Kyle Lowry didn't play against the LeBron team because he wasn't there. But anyway, at the end of the day, that is a good team. But something I do want to touch on, though, just to provide more of a historical context too, something I would like to touch on is that of the Golden State Warriors, because there's a lot of people out here already talking about, a lot of numbskulls and smooth brainers. They out here talking about that if Steph Curry wins his championship and has 4 championships with LeBron, that he surpasses LeBron. I mean, how dumb do you got to be to even think that? So let me just break this down for you real quick like. Let me break this down for you real quick like. So the Warriors have went to 6 finals in the last 8 years, or if it's 7 in the last 9, or whatever it is. They've gone to quite a few finals. Now, with that being said, they have not been to more than LeBron James. So that's the common denominator right there. LeBron James has been to 4 in a row with Miami, then 4 in a row with Cleveland, with the last year minus a Kyrie Irving, and was still able to propel his team into the finals. So let's not get it misconstrued. And then the Lakers championship. So you're talking about, what, 9 finals appearances in 10 years for LeBron James? So that, and it show you how great it is, the accomplishment, and what he was really up against. Because if you look at it, the Golden State Warriors were in the finals, the past 6 out of the 8 years. So Golden State went to the championship 5 years in a row. We know 2015, they were fortunate because Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love was hurt and they won that finals. Then the next year, we know what LeBron James did. And then the following year, they added Kevin Durant, and we know what Kevin Durant was able to do with Golden State for the next 2 years. And then after that, they returned to the finals, and unfortunately, they were injured and they lost their series to Toronto. And I'm here to say that I really think the Golden State Warriors would have a 3-peat under their belt. I'm not trying to take anything away from them. They would definitely have a 3-peat under their belt if Kevin Durant and, of course, Klay Thompson didn't get injured. Now, this is what I really want to put into context for those of you trying to compare Steph Curry to LeBron James. So once Klay Thompson was injured, what did Steph Curry do? Once Klay Thompson was injured, what did Steph Curry do? Because I remember Kyrie left LeBron James and he still took his team to the finals. Now, Curry, what did you do? Did you make the playoffs? No. Then what happened? What happened? Did you make the play-in? No. Memphis beat you and you couldn't get in the play-in. So with that being said, I mean, it just shows you that Steph Curry is a great all-time player. Y'all seen my top 30 countdown. And I'm moving them up. I even said that in my countdown, which I look forward to redoing that again this summer, so stay tuned. But what I'm trying to say is, if you really think about this, Steph Curry was a part of a great system. Now, you see how Jordan Poole, which they do a great job of developing players, don't get me wrong, Golden State does, and they have a great system. But at the end of the day, Steph Curry is not on LeBron James' level. Now, is he the greatest shooter of all time? Yes. Is he great in crunch time? Not always. That's not one of his strong points. But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to tell you all is that even shows a testament to LeBron James' greatness right there, because he was going against, how many times did Jordan go against a team that went to the finals 5 or 6 years in a row? Utah went 2 years in a row, and Utah was a damn good team. And I'm not one to try to take things away from it, but they were no dynasty like the Golden State Warriors. You understand what I'm saying? But with all that being said, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I'm taking Boston in 6. Y'all might think I'm crazy, but it's because of the defense and because Boston is more than capable of keeping up with Golden State from the 3-point line. Now, Golden State has great defense as well. I really look forward to breaking down this series, but it is a lot that I'm trying to take care of. And with all that being said, I just want to say peace and much love to everybody. Have touchdown safely back at home. I got to turn in the rental. I got a lot of things I need to do. So, once again, man, I just want to say right on to the real, and much love to these haters. I'm out.